Hello all. Thank you so much for watching. Today I have a Halloween themed pick a card reading for October 2025 or whenever you may see this reading. Oi, move kitty. She's been outside so she has all kinds of dust all over. All right, let's get started. Pile number 1 is Citrine. It says, I fully embrace my confidence and sense of self-worth, and it is for Gemini, Aries, Libra, Leo, and Gemini again. So if you have any of those signs in your top 5 placements of your birth chart, this reading could be for you. Next, pile number 2 is Carnelian, and this one says, I am a passionate being with divine inspiration. I take action confidently. And this is for the zodiac signs of Cancer and Leo. Pile number 3 is Amber. Excuse me. This says, I accept divine guidance. And it is for zodiac signs of Cancer, Leo, and Pisces. And the last one, pile number 4, is Jade. It says, I recognize all forms of pure abundance and harmony, and it is for the zodiac signs of Aries and Pisces. So if you have any of these placements in the top 5 of your birth chart, so that would be your sun, moon, Venus, rising, and you can also do Mars. That's your reading. So thank you again for watching, and check the timestamps in the description box below. And we'll see you in your reading. Hello, group number 1. If you chose the Citrine card, this is your pile. It says, I fully embrace my confidence and sense of self-worth. It says it represents abundance, emotional balance, confidence, strength, and it's also a chakra cleanser. So it cleanses your energetic meridians on your body, and particularly the sacral chakra and the solar plexus chakra. And it also represents the zodiac signs of Gemini, Aries, Libra, Leo, and Gemini. Some of you may have a double Gemini placement. So that means that you're, for example, moon and sun sign in Gemini, or moon and rising or something like that in Gemini. But okay, let's go ahead and get started. And so this is for October 2025. Or if you happen to catch this video, if it comes up in your feed at a later date, it's the upcoming October. So what is it that group number 1 needs to know about October for their highest and greatest good, please? We have here 10 of Swords, an ending and a betrayal of some kind. Okay. This could have happened in the past. Okay. What do they need to know about October? Group number 1. Okay, all of these came out. Knight of Swords. Okay, for some of you, this could be demonic influences. This is a very intense deck, by the way. This is the Haunted House Tarot. So for some of you, there could have been demonic influences playing some sort of role in your life. But we have the Justice card. And this Justice could have to do with your health and your spiritual alignment is what I'm hearing. We have the 8 of Swords, which represents feeling trapped. We have the World card, number 21, which is completion of cycle and living in a higher state of being, or the highest state of being that you have reached. They're saying in a long time. Three of Swords. This is the betrayal. This is the High Priestess. The Empress. And the Death card. Bottom of the deck, the Sun card. Okay, that is very intense, and that's a lot. So, let's see, let me just rearrange this here. So, that's a lot, you guys. You've been through a lot, to say the least, is what someone's saying. Okay, let's get some clarifiers for this. All right, what do they need to know about this betrayal? Group number 1. This one almost flew out. That's the Two of Swords, which is a decision. This group number 1 need to know. Okay. Nine of Pentacles. This has to do with your own financial stability, your financial abundance, your financial independence as well. This one just fell off. Seven of Pentacles. It's being diligent and investing in yourself. I'm going to take this one just because it was kind of weird. That doesn't usually happen. It just kind of fell off the top as I was switching hands. So, so this has to do with investing in yourself. Continuing to invest in yourself. Okay. Clarify these energies, please. Clarify. Benevolent beings, group number 1. Nine of Swords. This is a lot of anxiety, worry, and sleepless nights, and even nightmares for some of you. And the Moon card. Some of you may be greatly influenced by the moon. A lot of people's moods fluctuate during the certain phases on the lunar cycle. Full moons, that's why they say, you know, lunacy. People kind of act up on a full moon. There's more activity in the ERs and stuff like that during a full moon. Excuse me. So pay attention to that. Pay attention to the moon, and that may help you be more aware of your moods, and also maybe the people around you. It could be also someone that you live with or work with, is what they're saying. For some of you, it's someone you work with. Okay. And bottom of the deck, Eight of Pentacles. Okay. So, there's a lot going on. So for some of you, the Justice, this feeling trapped, this could also actually be imprisonment or going to jail, with the Justice card and the Eight of Swords. Or if you have some sort of a legal case going on, you may be worried about being arrested or going to jail or something like that, or being trapped as a result of a legal judgment. For some of you, this is a court situation. Okay. So there's that. And so if this wasn't, when I say that there were demonic forces influencing your life in some sort of way, I'm not trying to scare anyone. This can manifest in people having, let's say, substance misuse problems, and they're living in your household, and you have to deal with that weakness of will, sort of. It's those types of scenarios. So some of you may be going through something like that, or dealing with other people in your environment who seem kind of like they want to sabotage you in some sort of way. They're trying to take away from your goodness, is what I'm hearing. So just to clarify, don't panic and think that, you're possessed by a demon or anything like that. I don't want you to worry in that way. I'm just saying this is a very intense deck. And but that's how those energies can manifest themselves from the spiritual world into the physical world. And and the thing that has kept you sane has been investing in yourself, working and continuing to plant your seeds of growth. And that's definitely showing up with the Eight of Pumpkins, which is the Eight of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. And so, and the Sun card here. I mean, overall, just because somebody in your life has been trying to attack you and sabotage what you have going on, or it may feel that way. For some of you, it just feels that way. It's not like anybody's actually doing that, but it just feels as though they are somehow. But for others of you, there's actually some deep competition. And with this Three of Swords here, if you see this woman, well, she looks like a vampire, and he's trying to put a stake in her heart to kill the vampire. And so, in this particular card, the imagery represents a scenario where we can imagine that this man may have fallen for this woman, but he realized that she was a blood-sucking vampire, that she was, may actually kill him or something like that. I'm talking about, this is a movie scenario. We're talking about the artwork in the card. We'll get to the real life scenario in a minute. But, so that would be, it's a betrayal to her because they're fighting and he's, has to put a stake in her heart in order to survive. But it's also a heartbreak and a loss for him as well, in a way, because these types of people can often manipulate you. And so there's a situation here where somebody could be dealing with an energy vampire, an emotional vampire, a narcissist, or a situation like that. And it could be that you're a male and there's a female in the situation, or vice versa. Flip the roles. If you're dealing with something like that, just the genders don't matter in this card. But anyway, I'm seeing the word regret. And many of you may regret not knowing the signs ahead of time. So, but there was a betrayal here. There's a betrayal, there's a loss, there's a disappointment. So the High Priestess, the Empress, and the Death card. Let me get a clarifier for this. Okay. Ace of Pentacles, Page of Pentacles. And then we have Three of Cups at the bottom of the deck, which represents friends, family, celebrations, good news. Can also represent a birth announcement or the announcement of a business. So despite all of these things going on in your life, there's a lot of very positive things happening. So you have here the High Priestess, the Empress, and the Death card. So there's definitely an ending. Somebody is closing out a major cycle, and there's a major transition going on that's going to happen. And however, with the combination of the High Priestess and the Empress, these are two very powerful, intuitive female figures. And so the Empress would be the authority figure in this scenario who would often consult a high priestess for wisdom and advice on how to rule her people. And so I feel like the Empress is you in this situation. And with the Ace of Pentacles and the Page of Pentacles, this is a financial opportunity for you and also your child. So some of you could be going into business. Some of you, despite everything that's happening, some of you could be going into business, and this business is going to be beneficial for you and your child. And it's something that they may be interested in. They may benefit from financially, excuse me, my words, economically is another word that's coming through. And, you know, into the future. We didn't get the 10 of Pentacles here, but this is, we have, actually we did, no, that's the Cups. But we have the 8 of Pentacles, which is definitely fine-tuning your craft and getting paid well for your work. So, and the Sun card. So that's really good. Very happy. August is also being represented. The month of August is also being represented. So you could see things come to fruition the following August. So you may want to mark your calendar. So this would be if it's October when you're watching, or it could be if you're, you know, depending on when you see this, the upcoming October will lay seeds and you'll sort of be able to harvest in August, if that makes sense. So whatever you do in the October closest to upcoming from when you watch this, August, the following August, you'll be able to reap the benefits of everything that's been going on. So overall, just to recap, it looks like you may have had a loss to your financial independence because of some sort of a betrayal, backstabbing, and this is the Knight of Swords. So the Knight of Swords can often represent somebody who, well, they're saying evil manipulator. So in this reading, it represents an evil manipulator. But it doesn't, you know, usually the Knight of Swords is somebody who is carrying out an order for the King of Swords. And it's not always friendly, you know. They're a messenger in a way, but they can also, have a very stern, strong, historically it would have been a violent message, you know, if it's the Knight of Swords. So it's like they're coming through with the attack. So, but justice prevailed, even though you may feel trapped by a certain situation, or that you're not actually trapped. You're not actually trapped. So you have achieved control and power over whoever this vampiric person is in your life. So, and there's going to be opportunities in the future. You follow your intuition and your instincts, connect with the divine, seek help and assistance from a religious perspective, somebody's saying. And there's going to be opportunities, an opportunity for you and an opportunity for someone in your family, possibly a younger child or a grandchild. And there is definitely some, let me just get one more clarifier for this. What's this death card, please? Death card. King of Pentacles. For some of you, there may actually be some passing. Somebody passing away in your family. We have the star card at the bottom of the deck, the sun and the star. 10 of Pentacles at the bottom of that. So for some of you, there may actually be a death in the family. Or if not a family member, it's the ending of a job situation. It's the ending of working with some sort of King of Pentacles in your life. So okay, last message. A message for group number 1, please. A message for group number 1 regarding this entire situation. Ooh, that one wanted to fall out. Zombie control. Oof, that's interesting. Okay, that one almost came out. Let's just make sure. Okay, a message for group number 1, please. Okay. Skull of light, illumination. Okay, let's see. Let's see what this says. We can stay in the dark, exist only in the midnight hours, but shining the torch, the victory is ours. As the famous psychotherapist Jung suggested, knowing our own darkness helps us cope with the darkness of others. Taking the time to know thyself and to seek understanding of our more destructive or shadow natures can lead to huge happiness and less anxiety. The idea of being shown the way in the most difficult of times and always knowing that we are never alone in the darkness are the keys to this magical element. Light is usually a comforting thing, yet sometimes we do not really want to see the boogeyman under the bed. It's too scary, too big, and we know not how to defeat it. Yet by simply shining the torch upon such darkness, the victory is ours. Should the skull of light enter your life, know that it is time to open yourself fully to the clarity of bright illumination. Allow yourself to be seen, to see, and to act upon what is shown to you. The time has passed for hiding, for pretending, and for swallowing our discomfort by accepting the status quo when it really doesn't suit us. So, for some of you, this is about looking at, for some of you, it's revisiting your own deepest, darkest secrets. And something you can do is to write them down and burn them. And that's just kind of a way to help alleviate or unburden yourself. If you don't want to talk to anybody about it, if you don't want to talk to a therapist about it, or if you don't want to speak to a member of the clergy or anything like that, that's something that you can do. And some of you, it's also about seeing a situation clearly for what it is instead of ignoring it and ignoring the signs. So looking at things very clearly, shining the light on a situation, not being afraid, not just closing the door on it, like, the shadows in the closet and you close the door. Instead, you're being asked to actually shine a light on the situation and to really examine it, because sometimes, you can scare away the boogeyman, so to speak. You can, just by being willing to shine the light in the darkness, they're saying it can alleviate the burdens. So some of you may have a lot of burdens because of shadows, certain shadow elements that are existing and going on in your life at this time. And the High Priestess also represents shining the light on the situation, especially, and the sun and the star card as well is definitely shining the light. And if you see, this Empress is looking into a light bulb, or actually that's her own orb of energy, her own light within her. So I hope this reading helped you at this time. I hope it makes sense. It does look like there is a positive outcome to this situation. And stay well, and we'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye. Hello, group number 2. You selected Carnelian. And it says, I am a passionate being with divine inspiration. I take action confidently. It also represents creativity, physical vitality, motivation, courage, success, and drive, the sacral chakra, and the zodiac signs of Cancer and Leo. So those could be in your top 5 placements in your birth chart. All right, let's get started. I have shuffled this deck to your energy. Benevolent ministering beings of group number 2. What is it that they need to know at this time? It seems kind of like we've been doing a bit of a past, present, future spread. So let's say past situation for group number 2. That's revealing itself in October. Okay, it's a lot. There's a lot. 9 of Cups, the Hermit, 5 of Pentacles, Knight of Swords, the Hierophant, the Emperor, and the Chariot. Okay, so I'll get into that in a minute. That's a lot. Present for October, closest to when you are watching this. 2 of Swords, and future outcome for their highest and greatest group. Good, please, group number 2. Group number 2, future outcome. Okay. 9 of Swords, 7 of Wands, Knight of Swords, Page of Swords. I just had to clarify. This deck is a little different. And then we have here Temperance. That is Sagittarius energy. Also Archangel Gabriel energy. Okay, let's get some cards to clarify this past situation for group number 2, please. This past situation from the past for group number 2 that is surfacing in October for when they are watching this, for their highest and greatest good, please. Okay, we have here 2 of Swords again. Decisions. Okay, please clarify present. 2 of Swords. We have the Emperor card and the Justice card. I want it to come out in the reverse. And outcome, please. Future. 9 of Swords again. 3 of Wands. Knight of Wands. 8 of Swords. And Knight of Cups. Okay. All right, so let's get into these energies. Overall, you have the Temperance card and the Knight of Cups. So some of you may need, if you have a drinking problem, you may need to be aware of that. You may need to just, because I am getting the impression for some of you that there may be a situation, because they're sitting at the bar here drinking, and then with this Knight of Cups coming in, this is like somebody coming in. I'm seeing someone coming into your life who likes to drink, and it's like when you get together, you guys drink, or you have a tendency to drink. So for some of you, there's a situation like that, or like it's a type of person that whenever you hang out with them, you tend to drink more. And so do be careful with the Temperance card. That represents staying balanced, moderation. It's like, yes, you can have a drink or 2, but that's it. And that's your limit, knowing your limits and not exceeding your limits. So there is definitely a need for that, or to be aware of that situation in your life with yourself or somebody very, very close to you. Let's see what else is going on. So this past situation here, Nine of Cups, the Hermit card, Five of Pentacles, Knight of Swords, the Emperor, and the Chariot. Okay, so, and then we have Two of Swords. Okay, there's a lot going on. So definitely for some of you, could have been dealing with a situation where it's like you had everything you wanted emotionally, but financially you weren't doing so well. Financially, things weren't working out. And so this can be, for example, a job that you have where you really like what you're doing, but you're just not getting paid very well for the work, you know? And so for some of you, you went to school in order to be able to do what you want to do what you love, and also try to make more money, you know, try to advance yourself, advance your career, get educated, gain some understanding. Also for some of you, it's just about introspection and learning about yourself, and what you want, your hopes, your needs, your dreams, your desires. Then, but for some of you guys, for many of you, this led to a situation where I'm seeing for some of you, going to school actually made it more difficult for you to get a job because they say you lack work experience. So that's really unfortunate, and that's something that you've been dealing with. For others of you, the work, what you got your education in, there isn't really a demand, a financial demand. And so it's been hard to find jobs in that field. So some of you are dealing with that. And okay. And for others of you, I'm seeing a group of you where you're having a hard time because your relatives don't agree with your career path. And they may want to cut you off. So there's that. So depending on what group within group number 2 you are, I'm seeing a few different scenarios. And then we have here the Knight of Swords. So this is a messenger. This is somebody who is carrying out the King of Swords orders, and the King of Swords desire. So some of you may have received some sort of a message. It was a very difficult message to receive, very painful, hurtful message, connected to this whole situation. So, and the message is going to be different for everybody. You know, it's going to hurt in different ways depending on what your situation is. And so here we have the Emperor card with the Chariot. So it's like the Emperor, this is the Emperor's vehicle. That's his driver. So he's getting into his car and moving forward. And so for some of you, it's like the career path evades you, or the Emperor is often a boss or an authority figure or a father figure. So for some of you, I'm seeing a situation where the company that you used to work for is moving. It's leaving your location. And a lot, you know, some people are losing their jobs because of it, or relocating. Some people are relocating for work. And you're kind of in a place where with the Two of Swords, this is the bad news, the Knight of Swords. And the person who delivered this news, if that's your situation, this person was kind of smug and, you know, happy about it in a way. They like it. But now you have a decision to make about whether or not you want to stay and try to find a job where you are, which you could be in one of those situations where your degree, there aren't really any jobs in your, you know, education field where you live. Or gosh, one of the other scenarios, I'm drawing a blank right now, you guys, I apologize. Others of you, this is for family. This is the father figure, is the person that's kind of, it's like leaving without you. So there could have been also where your dad wanted you to join their company or to have a certain career path, taking after them in some kind of way. And it's almost like if you don't get in the car, they're going to leave without you. And so you have to make your own way, so to speak. And so, so you have a decision to make, to say the least. Okay, so, and you had, so that was in the recent past. This is a situation that you're dealing with. So presently, you have the decision, right? The Two of Swords. You still need to make this choice. You need to make this decision. You haven't done it yet because obviously it's a major life decision. For some of you, you're deciding whether or not you may need to go back to school to get a new degree in something that's going to pay more or has a higher demand. You may be deciding if you need to relocate to follow the company, if the company that you work for is closing in your area and either moving their offices or their stores or something like that, or they're just downsizing. It does look like people are moving. They're leaving. They're going to go work for other locations. Some people are and others aren't, obviously. And so you may need to do the same, just depending on the situation we have here. I'm going to need to get clarifiers on this. We have the Emperor card and the Justice card. So the Emperor card is the authority figure that we were just speaking about. For some of you, it's a father. For some of you, it's a boss. Aries. It's an Aries also. For some of you, it's an Aries. And the Justice card, this is justice, fairness, equality. It can also represent a legal situation. So for some of you, the legal situation is what's causing this father figure and or a boss, depending on your situation, to leave, to vacate the area, is some sort of a legal situation. And so the outcome, let's see here. The choice that you make will be based on the outcome, is what Spirit is saying. And so, of course, take that with a grain of salt. Do your own inner research and guidance with the Hermit card here. We have the Hermit card coming out in the recent past. Okay, so you got the Nine of Swords twice. So some of you are really having a hard time, a lot of anxiety, pressure, and worry, and not being able to sleep as a result of needing to make this choice. And for some of you, it's anxiety because you've never lived anywhere else before, and you have a hard time, maybe even with agoraphobia or anxiety in general. For others of you, it's just the worry about how to pull it all together and how to make it all work is what I'm getting. Okay. We have the Seven of Wands and the Page of Swords. So this is the messenger. The Page of Swords is the messenger. They're usually the ones that send the message from the king. And then, which is weird because usually the page comes before the knight. And so it's almost like the messages were switched. You know, they should have sent a letter first, but instead they sent, so it's like okay. Sorry, I'm getting a lot of information at once. So for some of you all, it's like you first heard about it from somebody at work, maybe somebody in middle management or somebody who works kind of closely with you, but in another department. And they kind of seemed happy about it. Like they just seemed smug or like an agent of chaos somehow. Almost like for some of you, they might like to see people suffer. That's really sad. And now in the future, it's like the letters coming in the mail. And so it's almost switched. It's like they should have notified you in writing first and then sent this night in later, but it's coming, it was switched somehow. So that's something to consider in this situation. And with the 9 of Swords and the swords from this page, that's definitely 10 swords that's ending, and it could be some sort of a betrayal in some way as well, because it does represent being stabbed in the back. And so for some of you, you may be dealing with somebody with the 7 of Wands coming up here. Somebody saw you as competition because you were standing out at work. You had some victories. There were some competitive things going on at work with your coworkers or with some departments. Could be like quotas, for example. If there are quotas that you have to meet at work, you were victorious. And because of that, you're having to defend yourself in some way. They're coming after you and attacking you. And they're doing that because they didn't want you to advance. They didn't want you to be able to transfer because they want to transfer. And so, or they want, them and one of their other friends to be able to transfer. And so they're trying to make sure there are slots open so that way other people can transfer, the people that they want, so to speak. So for some of you, you're dealing with a situation like that. And this is like people who work at Walmart, for example, or like people who work for, it could be a store, it could be another type of a company, an agency. So there's definitely a betrayal, an ending, somebody stabbing you in the back. So you have 3 of Wands here, the 8 of Swords, and the Knight of Wands. So the 8 of Swords, you're going to feel trapped. So there's going to be a brief period in the future where you feel as though you're trapped in a situation where you just don't know what to do. And for some of you, it can result in non-action. It could result in, it's like, you need to make a decision, but you don't know what decision, and so you don't make any decision. And that's not good. In this situation, that's not good. You do need to choose a path. We have the 3 of Wands here with the 4 of Wands. Or excuse me, the 3 of Wands with the Knight of Wands, and that makes 4 Wands, which is a house. So for many of you, I'm seeing that it would benefit you to stay with your house. To stay, I'll get a clarifier though. Okay, for those of you that have a very nice house in a very nice location, and you have the means to be able to stay in that house, it would benefit you to do so, to stay stable instead of venturing out. For others of you, you and some other coworkers are going to be discussing moving, relocating, discussing locations, kind of like, oh, the 2 of us are going to go over here to this location. Well, I'm thinking about going over here to this location. Or, you're just kind of like, these 2 are already going, and you're going to be speaking with them, and you're kind of thinking about going. You know what I'm saying? Like their torches are already lit. Your torch has not been lit yet. You're still sort of looking at your torch like, I don't know if I'm going to go. I don't know if I'm going to make the move. And with the Knight of Wands coming in, this is like somebody coming in with an opportunity of to use your creativity. And for some of you all, the four of you be working together and actually building a place, building a shop, building a apartment complex, building some sort of structure to do your either creative work or I'm getting housing, because, and this would be the Four of Wands. It would make a Four of Wands, which is a house. And it is people getting together to build a house, to create a house, to create a foundation. Can also represent wedding announcements and, or wedding celebrations for some of you. But, so yes, for some of you, you guys could actually be getting together with some of your other coworkers to build something together. So it's almost like instead of branching off to go where the other people are going, you all are going to band together to do your own thing, the four of you. So take that as it resonates. But they don't want you to feel trapped, okay? So there's a nine, there's a Nine of Swords, and then this Eight of Swords, and this Page of Swords equals a Nine of Swords again. And so that is all three of those combined is the Nine of Swords. So that's just worry, anxiety. And so it looks like the advice to you would not to allow yourself to feel the anxiety, to feel trapped, because you're not trapped. The feeling trapped is an illusion. Feeling trapped is an illusion. So, okay, let's go ahead and get a final message for group number 2 regarding the situation. What do they need to know at this time? What do they need to know at this time? Ooh, you guys got 2 cards. Oh, Skull of Stars, Infinite Possibilities at the bottom of the deck. I didn't look at that for the last group. So I just wanted to show you all. So you have here Hearth, happiness in our hearts and homes. So it does seem as though somebody's house is very important. So for those of you, if you're currently living in a very nice house and you really, really love your house, it looks like the advice is to stick with your house. And that's okay. And there's going to be somebody coming in to help you with that. And then for others of you, you're going to be building something together. You're going to be getting together with 4 people, you and 3 other people. First it's going to be you and 2 other people, and then someone else will come in later with the idea. They're the ones that have like the idea. They're like, hey guys, I just got this idea. Let's do this thing. And you guys are all kind of there looking for something to do. And these 2 were sort of already thinking about doing one thing already. All right. Anyway, I digress. So happiness in our hearts and homes, Hearth. And then eternal love. Love is here. Oh, excuse me. Love, and it transcends physical death. Okay, let's read what these say. Hearth. The heart of every home, the fire that unites, winter's warmth centers, stories, love, and delights. The ancient Romans believed that every home had a heart, and it was the hearth. Where the fire burned, the family gathered for sustenance, communication, and protection. This concept was so important to the culture that there was a huge city hearth the Vestal Temple, where the fire of the home goddess Vesta burned forever without ever going out. The sacred flame was protected by the soldiers with their very lives should there be an invasion. The place where the goddess Vesta was honored within every ordinary home was also the hearth, and it is where women prepared food and cooked. Some of the food was always offered back into the fire as an offering to Vesta for her blessing and protection. Often husbands were sent away on military duty for years on end, and their wives at home were not just expected to keep the home and often the business running, but to wait for their husbands faithfully until their return. They prayed to Vesta to ensure their family members' safe return and to keep the fires of love stoked. The saying, "Keep the home fires burning," was inspired by this practice. Should the hearth card appear in your divination, you are being asked to look to your idea of what home and family is for you. Take the time to build up your love fire and have it burning brightly. Make your relationships a priority. If there is a conflict within your home and family, it is time to take concrete steps to address the issue for good. If you or a member of your family is away from home due to travel or work, know that protection is being given. Okay, so that is very interesting. So for some of you, the home, there was some sort of a, between this emperor, you and this emperor here, whoever that is. So a father figure, like I said, it could be your father, it could be a boss, it could also be the father of your kids. But, so there's that. I felt as though it was a boss or a father figure, as I mentioned previously. So, eternal love. Let's look at that one. Okay. This card says, when the body leaves us and our souls are above, our possessions no longer, nothing remains but the intertwining of love. All of us are the product of millennia of love. Our parents, our ancestors by blood and ritual, all have in some way created the DNA that weaves throughout our bodies. Love, in fact, powers life and death. When most of us first encounter death in our lives, we experience grieving too, and in some ways that feeling could be described as an absence of love and the absence of that person or being. But the kind of love that is often shared between family members, friends, and lovers, separated only by physical death, is the kind that poets wax lyrical about. That is truly eternal and transcends death. Should you choose this card, you are being reminded that love is the most powerful force in the universe. It is more powerful than death itself. Love lingers. It leaves its own legacy, and we should be aware of this every day that we live. For those that are ready for and desiring of a partner, it also indicates that a significant love is close at hand and to be ready to open up to this new experience. Okay, there you go. That's really nice. So, and we do have the Knight of Cups here, as I mentioned. Somebody coming forward with an offer, a proposal of some kind. Definitely a proposal that is going to make you very emotionally, has the potential to make you emotionally satisfied, emotionally happy. So an offer of love. So I hope this reading helped you. Feel free to check out the other readings. And thank you so much for watching, and have a blessed day. Group number 3. Your card says, I accept divine guidance, Amber. It represents amplifying energy, balancing, and supportive. The chakras of the crown chakra, solar plexus, and sacral, and zodiac signs of Cancer, Leo, and Pisces. So you could have those in your top 5 placements in your birth chart. It's number 11 and number 3 as well may be significant to you somehow. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So we've been doing this like a past, present, future situation. So a past situation from the past for group number 3 that is revealing itself in October. closest to when they are watching this video. Okay. There's a 10 of Swords here. Okay. An ending and a betrayal of some kind. Somebody stabbing you in the back. Present situation. Oh. 4 of Cups. Let me get a clarifier, please. Present situation for group number 3, please. Present situation for group number 3. Present group number 3. Anything? Okay. Future group number 3. Most likely probable outcome for the future for group number 3 based on this situation. Okay. 10 of Pentacles. And at the bottom of the deck is the 9 of Swords. Okay. Let's go ahead and clarify these cards. You guys didn't get nearly as many cards as, well, at least from this deck, as the previous groups. So some of them really got a lot. So, okay. Situation from the past for group number 3 for their highest and greatest good, please. What is it? The Magician. Okay. Clarify the past situation, please, for group number 3. The Fool. Okay. Excuse me. Present. Okay. 7 of Cups. Okay. Clarify the present for group number 3. Present situation for group number 3. Please clarify. Anything? Okay. Justice. Okay. And outcome for group members of group number 3. King of Swords, 10 of Pentacles. Bottom of the deck is the Hermit. Okay. So, overall, during the month of October, closest to whenever you watch this video, whenever this video catches you, you may be having a lot of anxiety, worry, sleepless nights. This could have to do with your education, with somebody's schooling, or some sort of introspection and learning that you want to do on your own for yourself and or within yourself. Let's see what's going on. So, situation from the past. You have the 10 of Swords, which is an ending, a betrayal, something devastating for some of you. The Magician card and the Fool card. This is interesting that the Magician came out before the Fool, because usually the Fool comes before the Magician, 0 and then 1. But the Magician came out first and then the Fool came out. So I feel as though this was a situation where somebody may have influenced you into taking a leap of faith, into jumping off a cliff, so to speak. Hang on one second. Let me turn the light on. Okay. So somebody may have manipulated you, or they may have sort of presented themselves and a scenario better than it was. This is giving me like traveling salesman kind of, somebody like that. Somebody who's very convincing, sleight of hand, tricks up their sleeves and illusions. And that caused you to possibly make a foolish start in some way. And this may have happened after a betrayal of some kind. Some sort of a betrayal occurred, and so you were vulnerable. You were vulnerable You were hurt, you were, you know, and for some of you, this could have been after an illness as well, a near-death experience I'm seeing. Or where you may have actually died. You may have actually died and then, you know, made it through somehow. Or been very close to death in some way. And it could have even been from a physical attack from somebody. For some of you, could have actually been physically attacked by somebody that left you very close to death. But this person came into your life. You were vulnerable. They were very tricky. They were very magical. They had sleight of hand. They knew the tricks. They knew the tricks of the trade, that kind of thing. And so you, kind of wanting to be like them, you started off in this. But instead of being a magician, this is no, you know, I don't want you to feel bad about yourself, but it was almost like a clown, you know, because as I mentioned, the fool and then the magician. So it's like the fool is the court jester and the magician is the one who is educated, who knows a lot more about everything. And so, you know, and it's not that you don't know about everything, but it's just like whatever this particular field was, whatever the situation was, this person was definitely more advanced in the knowledge of it than you were. And it's almost like you got started too quickly. And I'm just seeing you, like for some of you, let's say if this person is a salesperson, right? And so there could have been a situation where there was an ending at work and there was somebody that came in that's a salesperson and they're wanting you to get started doing the sales that they're doing. But the only problem is they did not train you. You decided to go ahead and get started, but they didn't train you. You didn't get the training. And so you were going out into these sales jobs to pitch to people and you didn't have the answers to their questions. You didn't know. And it kind of made you look foolish and silly. And so I'm seeing a situation like that from your recent past, or it could be even quite a long time ago. Presently, though, for somehow this is coming back again in the present. And you have the Four of Cups. Right now, you're going through something where you're feeling a bit unhappy. You're feeling a bit, for some people, this can represent depression, but it can also just represent where nothing really makes you happy anymore. You have, you know, you have a lot and people are offering you more, but you don't want those things. You know, you might not even know what you want. You just don't feel happy or like you want anything at all. And this could have to do with relationships, friendships as well. And you could be distrusting, I'm getting. And then with the Seven of Cups here, there's also not knowing who to pick, not knowing what to choose. And so 4 cups plus 7 cups, that's 11 cups. There's no 11 in the tarot, so for this particular situation, we'll reduce it to a 2. So 2 cups represents either romantic partnerships or very close friendships, some sort of emotional partnership or connection. And then we have the Justice card here. There could be a situation with court battle or having legal problems because of this past situation. Or you may be even encouraged to actually seek legal advice or seek justice from this past situation. Because for some of you all, you may have been scammed. So for some of you all, you may have been scammed. If this person scammed you, if you had to spend money to get into something. They may have scammed you. And it didn't pay out. So for some of you, you may actually have to seek legal action right now about that, if that's your situation. Okay, let me get some clarifiers. Clarifier. Please clarify. First one we have Sun card, happiness. Okay, one more. Clarify, thank you. The Chariot. Okay. Eight of Wands represents communication and negotiation. So this is indicating that if you move forward, the Justice card, the Sun card, and the Chariot card, moving forward, not only in life, moving towards your happiness, moving towards things that make you happy. For some of you, this is also a situation where you don't have to work as hard as you used to. If you can see here, these two, they're like, they've just eaten and now they're sleeping in the sun. So, you know, just enjoying the sun shining down upon them with their full bellies. So yeah, for some of you, and you're going to be moving on or moving towards a better situation. So, and with the Justice card, this is what's fair for you. Okay. For others of you, I am seeing a situation where, because usually the Emperor drives the Chariot. So this could be a situation where some authority figure in your life, either a boss or it could be husband, or it could be your own father. Move it. Could be your own father. They're going ahead. They're going ahead of you, or they're going, it's like when somebody moves before you do. They move before you and then you follow later to, you know, it's like they're getting things established for you. So there is some sort of a father figure or somebody who is helping you get established and helping you get set up in some sort of way in advance. So they may be taking the lead somehow. Okay. The outcome to this situation, we have the Ten of Pentacles and the King of Swords. So if this is a legal situation, because of this scam that you were involved in the past, this is a judge. To me, if this is a legal situation, the King of Swords would be the judge. He's the decision maker, the ruler. He's the one who makes a ruling. And so, and you got the Ten of Pentacles here. So this is definitely for your financial stability, long-term financial stability and growth. And so you can also have a legacy. And this would be an inheritance, inheriting something from this father figure, perhaps, down the road, not immediately, but, or just having some sort of an inheritance that you can leave to your kids because of this judgment. So, okay. I'm just checking to see. For some of you all, this could have been a school, because I saw the Hermit and I was getting education. So for some of you, you may have paid to go to a school. I remember this happened to a friend of mine. She went to a nursing school. Like she wanted to go to this nursing school, and you have to pay for your education up front, and then the nursing school ended up closing down, and it's like everybody showed up for classes for one day and they were shut down, and everybody had already paid their tuition and everything. And so this could be a situation like that for you, where it was a school and you had paid your tuition, and they left and they shut down, and you were at a loss, and you were like really excited. You thought you were getting into a career, you thought you were getting an education and getting into a career path and getting moving in your own life, but that happened. And that would definitely be a betrayal as well, because somebody, they lied to you and they stole from you. And so, of course, you could be very, very disgruntled, very unhappy, very unsure about what to do next, who to trust next. If it is a schooling situation, there are accredited universities. I can't remember the accreditation, but you can check to see if they have those accreditations, because I know there's so many different online schools nowadays and so many different kinds of schools that you can get enrolled in. Nursing schools and IT schools and things like that. And so you just, you want to check for accreditations. But it looks like if you seek justice in this situation, you're going to get a lot of happiness and abundance from it. And you're going to be able to move forward in life. You might even be able to be your own boss for some of you. And it does look like the ruling is going to go in your favor. So right now it's giving you a lot of anxiety and worry, but you don't have to worry about that. I had to turn on some more lights. The sun is setting. So, okay, let's get a final message for group number 3. Group number 3, what does group number 3 need to know at this time for their highest and greatest good, please? Oh, this one. I'm going to take this one. Owl. Wise seeing, wise action. Okay, and actually I'm going to leave it at that. At the bottom of the deck, there's skeleton strength card, just for FYI. You have a lot of strength. This situation does require a lot of strength, though. Okay, let's see what the book says about owl. Okay, it says, wise seeing, wise action. Silent, winged, and wise, all-seeing creature of the night, show me the way, I will follow you in flight. Owls have for thousands of years been part of folklore and have been considered a special or sacred animal. With their huge forward-facing eyes and otherworldly appearance, they have been seen as both wise and harbingers of the supernatural. There are many hundreds of species of owls, and almost all are nocturnal and carnivorous. Interestingly, they all have specially designed feathers that enable them to fly silently at night, giving them an incredible hunting advantage, sort of like having a stealth mode. Many deities were said to be able to change into owls, and perhaps the most famous was the Greek goddess Athena, who was famous for her strategy and intelligence. To this very day, the capital city of Greece, Athens, has Athena's owl as its symbol. Should the hooting owl come looking for you this Halloween, it indicates the need for wise counsel or further information before you make a decision. Considered action is warranted. Think before you act emotionally and ensure you think strategically, not impulsively. So if you are getting involved in some sort of a legal dispute or a legal battle, you're being guided to think strategically, not to let your emotions get involved with the action, with the legal action, because the courts are they're designed to look at the facts, not the feelings. I've been in a case before. I've been in a legal case before, and I remember the judge was like, because I just talk that way, I'm a very feeling person. I go by feel, and it's just a word that I use in sort of synonymously with think. Like thinking and feeling can be, you know, the same for me. But the judge, I apparently kept saying I feel, and instead of saying I think or the facts are this. And so he reminded me, you know, the facts in this case. And luckily I had presented enough facts so that I was victorious in the situation. But, you know, it's like that for you. Don't focus on your feelings, focus on the facts. And that is what is going to get you through this. Some of you may have to do this at night just because of your schedules. I am seeing for some of you with the situation because you're currently working or you have kids or something like that during the day that you're not able to work on this situation. And so you have to work on it at night, or for some of you, you're working at night. Your job is at nighttime with the nocturnal influence. So yeah, but I am seeing for some of you, it's like you're doing your own legal research at night. You're, for some of you, you're having to get on the team calls or team meetings. Some of you might still be working. If you're working in a sales job, you might still be doing that. I'm getting. So some of you, if you're in the group where this person recruited you into a sales job, and it could be like selling Mary Kay, Avon, Tupperware, cars, anything like that, any like multi-level marketing and or selling something where there's like a quota and you kind of have to, you know, they want you to recruit people to sell. You could be dealing with that. You could be actually still dealing and working in that field, and trying to work it out, but you're just unhappy. You're unhappy. It's not suitable for you emotionally, and it's just causing you to be very confused about what is going to make you happy. So I hope that makes sense. And again, for those of you where this is regarding a school, get all your receipts together. I'm seeing something about if you have advertisements, if you have ads, if you have emails, copies of those types of things that you can show that they were promoting this education to you. And then you ended up booking or paying for the education based on the promotional materials. I'm seeing something about the ads and the promotional materials. And again, if this is a work situation or a work career or like a sales job, it's like they want you to save their sales pitch as part of this legal case. Because something that they're doing is predatory and misleading. And you can prove that by the promotional marketing materials for whatever it is, for whatever this situation is, whoever this magician is. So, okay, but all is well, and it looks like it will work out in the end, provided you stay emotionally neutral and focus on the facts. So I hope you found this reading helpful, and thank you so much for watching, and have a blessed day. Take care. Bye. Greetings, group number 4. This is your card. You got Jade, or you picked Jade. And this card says, I recognize all forms of pure abundance and harmony. The number 9, I think this is earth energy. And it says stability, prosperity, and longevity. It is the heart chakra, the zodiac signs of Aries and Pisces, and the sun. And so you could have Aries or Pisces in one of your top 5 placements of your birth chart. That would be your sun, moon, rising, Venus, and Mars. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, I had to shuffle the decks to your energy. Let's go ahead and get started. We've been kind of doing a past, present, future spread. So a situation from the past that is showing up in October, closest to when you watch this video. All right, 2 cards came out. You have the 5 of Pentacles and you have the 3 of Pentacles equals 8 of Pentacles. 5 and the 3 equals 8 of Pentacles. So let's see what else is going on. Present situation for group number 4. What is going on presently as a result of this situation from the past? Ooh, that's a lot. That's a lot. Holy moly. Okay. Moon card in reverse. Okay. I'm going to talk about all these. And actually, you know what? That is a whole lot, Spirit. That is so many. Let's put these back. Okay. All right. Please clarify the moon in reverse for the present situation for group number 4 for the highest and greatest good, please. Please clarify. Moon in the reverse. Nothing? No. Okay. All right. 6 of Wands, 10 of Cups. Okay. And future, most likely probable future outcome for group number 4. For their highest and greatest good, please. Knight of Cups. And at the bottom of the deck is the 8 of Swords. Okay, let's get some clarifiers and then we'll go through this. All right, situation from the past for, oh, okay. We have here the World card and 5 of Pentacles again. Okay. And that did fall out on the present. So you still could be feeling financially strapped, kind of left out in the cold in a way. We'll get into that, but clarify the present. You have here the Hierophant and the Queen of Wands. And future situation for group number 4 for their highest and greatest good, please. Most likely probable future outcome to this situation. 9 of Cups. And 2 of Pentacles. Okay. So overall, what I'm seeing is going on right now in October, closest to when you're watching this video. You could be watching it this October when I'm recording it in October 2025, or you could be seeing this video at a later time. 8 of Swords, 2 of Pentacles. You could be feeling very trapped in a current situation that you're in. And you're having to do a lot. You're having to be very flexible. Even though you feel trapped, which is weird because this person feels bound and tied up. This person feels like they're tied up, that they're tied to something that they can't leave, but still you are required to maintain flexibility. Which has been very difficult, Spirit is saying. It's been very difficult for you. And maintaining flexibility, that has to do with balancing your finances, prioritizing your expenses. Some of you are having to say, well, I only have this much money and I can, so, you know, which bill do I have to pay? Which one's most important? Which one can I put off? That type of thing. And so that can be, you know, very stressful for people. But this has to do with feeling trapped somehow, which is an illusion because the 8 of Swords it's feeling trapped, but not actually being trapped. So you might feel trapped, but you're actually not trapped. So the situation from the past, we have the 5 of Pentacles and we have the 3 of Pentacles. So this is, could be a work situation, working well with other people, or a work situation that just sort of fell apart. For some of you, it is a work situation that fell apart. For others of you, It is being in a financially dire situation and then finding a group of people to work with that led you to paid work, which is 8 of Pentacles. I feel like that's the situation for the majority of you, but there are some of you where there was a situation that kind of fell apart, a work situation that kind of fell apart. But otherwise, you got the World card, so it really helped you. It really helped you get on your feet, and it helped you to be at sort of a high point in your career, a high point in your life, but yet still, you still have the 5 of Pentacles showing up. And so that is still, it is still feeling like at the time in the past, you were not making enough. Despite finding a financial situation that brought a lot more stability and financial independence, because all these pentacles add up to, if you 5 plus 3 plus 5 is what is that? It's 10 plus 3 is 13, and that's 4 of Pentacles. That's financial stability. And also hanging on to, you know, saving your money and having to kind of save and scrimp and be careful with your spending. So that was the situation from the past. So in the present here, you have the moon in the reverse. So there are, when the moon is in the upright, it's like the moon shines the light on some secrets. And in the reverse, it's representing illusions. Illusions and also it can represent a positive, negative, or a possible negative outcome in the present. So there's some sort of a turning point here where you can uncover something hidden. But if that thing doesn't get uncovered, then there could be a negative turn of events. I don't want to scare anybody. I don't want to worry anyone. Sorry, let me just see what I get about that. Well, I'll think about that for a minute. Okay, so then we have here the 6 of Wands and the 10 of Cups. So there is something, though, in the present moment. You're victorious in some sort of way. You have won. There was a lot of battles and competition, but you won. You won. And there's a 10 of Cups here. Ultimate happiness, even though there's financial struggle, you have love, you have family members, you may have kids and friends and friendships. You know, you've got a lot going on, and you were victorious in some sort of scenario. If there's competition, if you're working in a market or in a job where there's a lot of competition, it's surpassing the competition or getting seen, you know, ahead or above the competition. And then we have the Hierophant here and the Queen of Wands. So the Hierophant can represent a government agency or government entity. It can also represent marriage or the church. It's not the act of getting marriage, but it's the counseling that leads up to the actual wedding as well. And then there's a Queen of Wands here. So a Queen of Wands is usually somebody who is a very passionate and creative individual. They can be someone who likes to get attention and who does get a lot of attention. Okay. Let's see what's going on here. Okay, so for some of you, you are the Queen of Wands. And because of your creativity, you were able to surpass the competition or to stand out in some sort of way. And so that turned you into the Queen of Wands, but also that also equals a Seven of Wands. So it's kind of like having to defend your post, having to defend your position. So you could be having to defend your success in some sort of way. You could be having to defend yourself in some kind of way from more harsh competition for some of you. And for others of you, it's, gosh, sorry, I saw it and I lost it. So yeah, I was just seeing something like with marketing. For those of you who, if you have your own business or anything like that, it's like you have to step up your game in your marketing. So it's like, okay, you were a cut above the rest and now they're kind of catching up to you. And so now you have to step it up in order to be able to defend your position and defend your post. For other people, you know, like you in the market that are doing what you're doing or something similar. It's about standing out. It's about the, you know, I'm hearing things a cut above the rest. Some of you could even be like hairdressers. You could own your own salon, and there's a lot of salons out there. So yeah, for some of you, if you know, I'm getting just the cut above. That was the name of a hair salon when I was a kid. So, and yeah, it's like working, finding a place to work, maybe, you know, renting a booth in another salon, and it really helping out, it really helping you level up your game, but you're still not quite making enough money. So a situation like that, or for some of you, doing a booth rental or another workplace. And some of you, as I mentioned, you could be working for a school or a government agency or a government entity. But it's about standing out. This is about standing out for you. And so you're being encouraged to continue to shine. You're being encouraged to continue to harness your creativity, to kind of enhance your abilities. For you, if you have creative skills, like if you're a hairdresser, you are very creative. Hairdressers can be very, very creative, artistic people. Anybody in the beauty industry can be a very creative, artistic person. Oh, my alarm. Sorry guys. Okay. So yes, enhancing your abilities in some way. But there is a secret. There's some sort of a secret. There's a secret or something that has yet to be revealed. Okay, there's a secret that has yet to be revealed. Okay, and some of you, if you're a creative working in the creative industry, you could be dealing with setbacks because of financial institutions. For some of you, I'm getting that as well. Like this Hierophant will represent an institution, like a financial institution. They're saying the brokerage system. For some of you, that may make sense. The brokerage system, like there's loan brokers and something like that. So if you're trying to get a loan to advance and advance your career, maybe you want to get some new tools. Tools can be very, very expensive. You want to get an education. You want to go to a seminar. You want to go to a class. You know, that can cost money, and you may want to get a loan or some kind of advance, and you may be having a hard time. For some of you, others of you, it's a school system. If you work in the school system, there's something going on with the school system. They may have a secret of some kind. Okay. Outcome. Outcome here, we have Nine of Cups. So this is you being very emotionally satisfied, really loving what you're doing. If this is related to a career, a job, or a business, you're really, really going to be loving what you're doing. You're going to be very fulfilled emotionally. But we have here the Knight of Cups, which is also a proposal or an offer. And so that with you already have 9 cups, and then this Knight comes in with another cup, that equals 10 cups. And so it's like your 10 cups are solidified. You currently are in a situation where you feel like you have 10 cups in life already, or it's very, very close to you. It's within grasp. It's like you see it. And then this proposal or this offer comes in. And so for some of you, this is going to be a situation where, I mean, it could actually be a proposal of marriage, a proposal to move in together, to live together. For some of you, if it's a career situation where you're doing something that you really, really love to do, it's somebody saying, hey, let's split a space. Let's go into business together, kind of. Let's rent a space together. Or some kind of an offer of assistance, collaboration. And it's somebody that you have an emotional connection with. Okay, this is good. This looks really good. So, very good. There's a secret going on. This could be the secret. This offer could be the secret for many of you. For others of you, it's something else. So, but it will be revealed. And she's blindfolded. I'm just looking at this here with the 8 of Swords. The moon is there and she's blindfolded. So it's like someone's keeping something from you. Could be a surprise. For some of you, it's a surprise. For some of you, it's a surprise proposal. Marriage proposal. For others of you, it's if you work for, I'm seeing somebody who works at a school, and there's stuff happening with the school's funding and maybe some reorganizing going on or something going on. And they have a plan for you. They have an offer that they want to give you, but they are not doing it yet. They're waiting for something, like they have to wait for something. And so that's why it's a secret. It's like somebody else knows about it, but you don't. You don't know about it yet. But this offer is going to make you very, very, very happy. It's going to be everything. It's going to be everything to you. So I'm just seeing what else the secret could be, or this illusion. Oh, for some of you, this is an illusion. Okay. They want you to be very clear, because you feel right now kind of like you're trapped in a situation. You're trapped in having to balance and not have enough money and having to scrimp and save and be flexible and prioritize. And this can be a work situation too. If you feel trapped in a work situation and they're asking you to do all of these things and you feel obligated and you have to really, discern how much energy you have, and also, being able to do everything with the time allotted. Like you may not get overtime. They want you to do all these things, but then you don't get overtime pay. So, you have to leave things behind, or you have to delegate. That's with the 2 of Pentacles, having to delegate. But this has to do with being blindfolded, not seeing something clearly. And because you're not seeing something clearly, you feel trapped. And that's an illusion. For some of you, feeling trapped and feeling like something is going to go wrong is an illusion, when in reality it's not. Nothing's going to go wrong as long as you continue to stand out and to shine your light. So as long as you continue to stand out and shine your light, That is what is going to carry you through this situation and enable this offer to come through for you. Okay, final message for group number 4, please. Final message for group number 4. For their highest and greatest good, please. Benevolent beings of group number 4. What do they need to know about this scenario? A message. Okay, 2 cards came out. Hearth. We got this in one of the other groups. It was number 1, I think. Possibly number 1. I don't remember. The veil. The future. Okay, and hearth says happiness in our hearts and homes. So let's see. The hearth. Heart of every home, a fire that unites, winter's warmth, centers, stories, love, and delights. The ancient Romans believed that every home had a heart, and it was the hearth. Where the fire burned, the family gathered for sustenance, communication, and protection. This concept was so important to the culture that there was a huge city hearth, the Vestal Temple, where the fire of the home goddess Vesta burned forever without ever going out. The sacred flame was protected by the soldiers with their very lives should there be an invasion. The place where the goddess Vesta was honored within every ordinary home was also the hearth, and it is where women prepared food and cooked. Some of the food was always offered back into the fire as an offering to Vesta for her blessing and protection. Often husbands were sent away on military duty for years on end, and their wives at home were not just expected to keep the home and often the business running, but to wait for their husbands faithfully until their return. They prayed to Vesta to ensure their family members' safe return and to keep the fires of love stoked. The saying, "keep the home fires burning," was inspired by this practice. Should the hearth card appear in your divination, you are being asked to look to your idea of what home and family is for you. Take the time to build up your love fire and have it burning brightly. Make your relationships a priority. If there is a conflict within your home and family, it is time to take concrete steps to address the issue for good. If you or a member of your family is away from home due to travel or work, know that protection is being given. So for many of you, that is this 10 of Cups here. So in the present moment, either you're experiencing this feeling of 10 of Cups where like you have everything, you have it all. You could be very worried that something may go wrong with this 10 of Cups, or you feel like it's within reach, within grasp, like you're almost about to have everything. You're almost about to have it all whenever, when it comes to emotions and love and family. So, because the 10 of Cups definitely is the family card. 10 of Pentacles too, but that's more like family finances. This is family love. And the veil. The veil says, there is a misty curtain that divides us all. The veil that this night thins, transparent the weave becomes, and the future no longer dims. So the veil is representing this moon in reverse, these secrets, these illusions. This is the veil that is currently covering this situation. So let's see here. The ancient Celts used to call the time of the longest night of the year Samhain. They believe, or Samhain is how it's spelled, but it's Samhain. They believed that there was a misty veil that separated the world of the dead and the living, but on 2 nights of the year, Samhain and Beltane, the shortest night, and the veil would thin. The fineness of the veil meant the ancestors were closer than ever, and even the gods would be close. This would mean that communications from the dead were more likely to occur, and that divination, where the divine speaks through something, could be more effective. So while using this oracle, as the veil lifts, know that the other worlds are close. Listen in particular to what messages may come forth around your future. Look to what you want to happen. Plan, set intentions, and think big. So during the time of October, towards the end of October and early November, that is when the veil is very thin. October 30th, 31st, November 1st and 2nd, and even a few days into November for the Dia de los Muertos festival. The veil is considered very thin during that time. And so that time could be of great significance for you whenever you're watching this reading, whenever the nearest, October 30th through, let's say, November 7th is going to be very significant. You're going to be receiving a lot of clarity during that time. You can also ask for assistance and guidance from your ancestors. You can do your own divination as well to gain additional insights and answers about how to get a step above an edge. So yeah, they're saying that there are things you can do to get an edge and a step up in order to be seen, be heard, be creative. So there's definitely, and the illusions, see how she's blindfolded? So this is just reinforcing what I said earlier about the illusion of being trapped. You're not actually trapped. So there's some sort of illusion or thing that an illusion that you have. And it could be a fear, a worry, but it's something that's not real. And that is currently influencing you right now. But you're going to, during the period of October 30th through November 7th, you're going to be gaining a lot of clarity. You're going to have a lot of answers. Opportunities will be presenting themselves, And so it could be that's when this offer will come through, this Knight of Cups, bringing forth this offer that's going to make you very, very emotionally stable and abundant. And working on your relationships at this time as well, focusing on partnerships, business partnerships, couples partnerships. That's what I'm seeing. I hope you found this reading helpful. If you would like a private reading, check the link in the description to book a private reading. And thank you again for watching, and have a great day. Bye-bye.